Hey, what's up guys, Godstatus here, and a lot of people ask me this. In fact, it's probably my most asked question ever, is how to get better at PF. And usually I don't really have an answer, because most things seem kind of like general and basic to me, but apparently they're really not. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a quick video. It's not going to be like that insanely organized or anything. I just really want to get my point across on like my major general tips really. Just a disclaimer, nothing's going to make you like insanely good overnight. Nobody's going to become the best player in the game overnight. All this just has to be applied and learned over time, and obviously you improve with it, blah blah blah. So you're basically just gonna have to work on anything I say, and it's really nothing set in stone. A lot of things can be modified, however, these are how I go about things, and most people usually ask for my opinions and like what I do, so that's basically what I'm going to try to show. So the first thing I want to go over is crosshair placement. Now, if I'm watching someone from like a live stream or a video, this is easily, very easily how I can tell if they have any idea of what they're doing. So the best way for me to show you this is if I come down here. Let's say you're gunfighting here and you kill a guy on hill, right? You start reloading, you're reloaded, give that 2 seconds, and you come around this corner. I cannot tell you how many times I see people looking like this, or they're looking up more, or they're simply looking this way as they come around the corner. And let's say like you can clear all this area from here, obviously. Like you could see for the most part nobody's there. So there's no point in looking there. And then like people who get into a gunfight and like they're reloading, they're looking down. First of all, never reload going around a corner. That's literally going to get you killed 9 out of 10 times. However, looking down as you're coming around the corner, that guy's already looking straight at you, right? So if he's over here looking like this, you're already screwed, because you have to snap up and aim. However, if you're aiming level-headed and you come around the corner, you're already right on him. And if you aim about chest to head level, as you're coming around this corner, you can scan everything, right? And one major thing you can do, and I do this especially in competitive if I'm trying to be really focused, is when you're coming around this corner, don't just instantly sprint around, or don't take a really sharp angle. Come around either wide, or just very slowly. If you're sitting at this corner, you can just kind of jiggle peek it. It's like, let's say a guy is there, but your plan is to just run around and come in here. Just come to the corner and quickly jiggle peek it, because he might see you for half a second. If he does fire, you do have time to get him on radar, and you can easily out gunfight him. However, if you're just sitting here jiggle peeking that, like let's say you see that's clear, then you jiggle peek the other side of red box, then you can jiggle peek tank, boxes, over there, and then eventually come into here. And also, taking sharp angles is never a good idea. Basically never. Because like let's say there's a guy that's, let me create a scenario. There's a guy that's holding right here, looking at you at tank, right? If you want to come around, and let's say he goes behind that wall, and he's sitting over there now, and you want to flank him, but he's looking this way, you're gonna want to not just peek like this, because you're very close. You have the time to come back, and you can go behind here, but the best option is, like, let's say he goes behind there, and you don't know where he's at, just, again, slowly come around and peek the corners one by one. Now, however, he can see your feet before you can see him here, so if you come around this corner like this, make sure you clear this, and then you can just simply slide and lay down around this corner. All of crosshair placement and movement like this is very important, especially crosshair placement. I cannot describe how important that is. Or especially like you see people coming up ladders here, right? And then let's say they're looking down as they're coming up. Like, what is this going to do for you? So you come up here like this and you have to snap up. Or people that are coming around the corner here, if they go up these stairs and they're looking up still, you're dead. Or if they're coming up and they're looking this way, your entire side is open. So basically just being aware of your surroundings and focusing on one thing at a time. You don't want to expose yourself to like 3 different areas. So, for example, if you peek here, you don't want to expose yourself to everything at once. If you can, just kind of jiggle peek it, or just do a simple jump. If you do a simple jump, you see people there, over there, you can just simply cook a nade right here, and you can throw a nade over there, and then peek this at the same time. They're going to move because they're going to see that nade coming, or you're going to kill them, and then you have time to peek them. Or you can do it, throw the nade here, peek there. It all depends. So my next thing is focus. A lot of people get really unfocused when they're playing, and I see a lot of people, when they're holding down an angle, they just sit here and hold it, right? Like, they don't move their crosshair at all. This is so terrible to do. You guys have no idea. Because if somebody comes up that ladder, you're not ready. Like, your hand is already stoned, and you're just sitting there just waiting. Stoned was a really weird word to use there. But you're just sitting there and you're waiting, your hand isn't warmed up. So if you're just sitting here holding it like this, and they come up and they, like, mega jump up that ladder, it's going to take you a little bit more reaction time for your hand to be ready to. However, if you're just sitting here and doing simple movements, you're not moving off a target at all, you're just keeping simple movements and your hand is staying warmed up. Also, if you're just sitting here and you're sniping, you don't just want to sit here and stand there and just hold one angle. Just keep a little bit of movement going. Because if you see this, especially with CSGO players, or even just when moving around, you never want to just have your mouse completely still while you're running. Because that's just going to make you less warmed up and you're going to not be ready for a gunfight. And if you watch my videos, even when you see me play, obviously you don't need to do things to the extreme that I do, but if you see me running, and I'll just simply shake my mouse. So it keeps my eyes and my hand ready, just in case there's any movement, and it's just simple things like this. Obviously it isn't the best to run out with your knife, but this is just the example. You just have to keep your mouse and your eyes moving, or else you're not going to be focused and ready for. So for gunfighting itself, okay. My main issue with this is people bring up strafing. And strafing, yes, very good thing, but people don't understand how, and they end up overdoing it. There's so many times I see people go to gunfight, and they're just mashing A and D. And if you're trying to spray, your shots are going all over the place right now. And you're going to be so much less accurate. So it's simple, even if you don't spam A and D, just simple holding A and moving, or holding D and moving, just simple movements will throw people off, as long as you're not standing still. The one major thing I do when gunfighting is I lay down. I drop shot. Almost every time. It doesn't matter if you're 2 feet in front of me or if you're all the way across here. For one, the best things about this is when you drop shot, your aim becomes better. If you see my crosshairs here and you see my crosshairs here, there's a huge difference in that. Obviously you're scoped in, but still, the recoil control does come into play. And my favorite thing is to do little baby strafes, more or less, nothing too much, and lay down while I'm doing them, and still continue to strafe while laying down, and then you can just hit space and stand up at the same time. So you want to constantly be laying down and standing up. This is my major thing that I don't see a lot of people doing, but laying down and standing up is probably the best thing, because although you're still moving side to side the whole time, it isn't hard to use the left side of your palm to hit control, and then just use your thumb to hit space. And this provides a lot more movement, it makes you a lot harder to kill. And I really don't see many people doing it, which is kind of weird. But to each their own, I suppose. And next up is going to be head glitching, one of the major things. A lot of people still don't really know how to head glitch, and it's kind of sad, actually. So, let me give an example. If you go to peek, right, let's say you go to peek here. There's a guy there, you're standing here, you want to peek him. Please don't ever run up here and peek him. You're exposing so much of your body. You can just sit here, move back, and mind you, the farther back you go, the harder it's going to be for him to hit your head. Obviously, it'll give him somewhat of a head glitch, but you'll still be able to see more of his chest than he will be able to see of you. And that's just a simple one. Or even using things like coming here slightly up the hill, and just using this so you can barely see them. You want to try to provide as much cover to your body as possible, and a lot of people fail at doing this, absolutely are terrible at it. It's really not that hard once you just think about what you're doing. And another way I can show it is if I come up here. Like I said, it really isn't that hard once you understand what you're doing. So when you're peeking, you don't want to expose your whole body. Never. That's one of the worst things you can do. If you peek, just simply come up here like this. You can see most of that, and you'll be able to see their full bodies if they're just getting up that ladder while they can only barely see your head. Or even better, lay down. And you could still see the top half of their body, and they can barely see your head right here. It is so useful. And another major head glitch is right here. Laying down right here is such a hard head glitch, and it's so hard for people to spray and hit you, that it's almost unstoppable. Because anyone who has good accuracy and just holds this head glitch, you're almost unkillable unless someone gets a sniper shot or a grenade on you. And that's probably one of the biggest things ever. Oh my god. Next up is going to be focus points. Focus points are the focus points of the map, the main objective point to the map. So let's say the hill is here. If you're playing, I don't even know where I spawn right now, let me check. Alright, so I'm Ghost, so Ghost spawn here, back there, and on that side of red. This being red because of the big red tower, which I'll show you in a second. This is red because that red pole, yeah, we just call this red. There used to be a pole here, fairly sure. Yeah, that's blue, this is red. Ghost will spawn, there, back there, and then on this side of red. So focus points for Ghost are going to be under here, this corner here, and they will be that back hill and that corner. If you're playing King of the Hill, of course. And then Phantoms, they'll spawn there, they'll spawn a little bit up here, sometimes back there, and then on that side of blue. So, the main choke points, obviously there's 2 choke points here, in case people are going through. But the main choke points, again, are going to be this area of boxes, the ladder, over back here around that corner, and then one major thing you can do here is, especially with spawn trapping, you can sit you could sit probably right up here and just crouch, and you'll get like a slight head glitch there. It's nothing insane, but for spawn trapping there, and then their spawns are just back and forth, same on both sides, so all you have to do is run back and forth, and it's really easy. So those are really easy focus points, and it really isn't that hard once you learn spawn points. They're all very like methodical, and it's just easy to switch back and forth. Obviously, your teammates will mess up spawns in public matches, but in competitive, it's a little bit easier because you guys are focused on keeping them in one spot. Now, next up is going to be guns. The issue with guns is they are all personal preference. Obviously, there's stronger guns than the others, but when it comes down to it, you could have something like the AKM, which is a lot harder to control for people than like an AUG 1, which if you could just see a spray pattern, like, let me grab a wall here. Like here, it's a lot harder to control this AKM. I'm not holding it at all. AKM moves side to side a lot, and if you're strafing while spraying with the AKM, you're just adding on a lot of recoil. I'm not controlling it at all right there. So obviously you don't really want to use a gun. Just because it has high damage doesn't mean you're going to be good with it. And you kind of want to stick to guns that like you understand how to use. Now, like the AUG 1, I'm not controlling this at all, and look at how accurate it is. It's insanely accurate. However, it's a lot less stronger than the AKM. But you want to use the gun that you're comfortable with. So, I mean, if you're trying to improve, I wouldn't be using like a terrible gun. Like, if you're trying to improve, and like, let's say you're playing Desert Storm, really shouldn't run a Honey Badger on like Desert Storm, you know what I mean? You kind of want to run guns that are fit for the map. Honey Badger would be more of like a close to mid-range weapon, but like, if I'm spraying someone who's at like that head glitch right there, it's a lot harder to hit with a Honey Badger. So, use guns that are appropriate for the map, and guns that you also enjoy using. I cannot express this enough. If you want to improve, you want to have fun while doing it. And don't force yourself to use guns that you don't want to use just because other people use them they're good with. Truth be told, once you get good at like the game in general, you'll be good with any gun with a little bit of practice. Also, secondaries are very important. People really don't understand that. Using like a Rex if you're not that accurate, or like a Desert Eagle when you're not that accurate, not a good choice. For basically anyone ever, I would just recommend a Tech 9 or a G18. They kill very fast, very strong secondaries. Probably the best bet for you at most times, for the most part. Now, if you're using like an AR, the Tech 9 will beat out SMGs for you up close. Or if you're sniping, a Tech 9 up close, just perfect, because there's no need for anything else, because the Tech 9 will beat any AR close range. Obviously, it fires very fast, does pretty good damage, and you can kill people very quickly. It's not the most accurate, but if someone's like right here, and you're just scoped in, it really isn't that hard to kill them. And getting used to Tech 9 spray is a little hard, but like obviously you don't want to spray people at like this range with the Tech 9, because you're probably not going to kill them. Just know how to use the guns according to like their distance and like how they're made. You don't want to snipe with a Tech 9. Like, that head glitch right there, that's insane. I'm not going to be able to spray someone with a Tech 9. Even I can't do that. It really isn't worth it. So, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is grenades. Now, grenades are a major key. That sounded like a DJ Khaled quote. Grenades are a major point in this game, and I can't understand people who say they never use grenades. They are literally the most useful thing ever. Even if you don't use them, like, tactically or anything, just throw them. You have them. You get 3 when you spawn. So, like, even if, let's say, I have no idea where people are at. I'm in a private server, obviously nobody's here. But let's say we're just spawning, we're coming up, everyone's getting onto the roofs, getting set up. Why is it so hard that while you're running, just tap your grenade key and just throw them? There's, like, chances are you will get a kill eventually. As long as you're not throwing them into, like, oblivion, you will get kills. And it's really kind of a waste. Like, if you're running, you have wasted time. There's no reason for you to not be throwing grenades. And obviously you can get better with them. So, let me get up to here. Or even, like, let's say somebody's holding that top ladder, right? You just cook a nade. Obviously, grenade cooking takes a little bit to get used to. But look, that grenade, hit a little low. Could use a jump right here. But you let it cook to, like, almost 4 ticks, toss it, boom. That person holding the ladder's dead. Or even just simple things. Like, let's say you're playing Flare Dom and that person's taking the hill or taking the cap point right there. Just cook a grenade and just toss it in there. It's so useful, and people don't realize how useful it really is. And grenades are such a valid thing, because when people are camping or anything like that, a simple grenade can take anyone out of any camping spot. Or if you're uncomfortable with peeking something, like let's say you know a guy's holding this angle, right? A simple grenade will kill them. But that's basically all I have for you guys today, and I hope you guys do enjoy. If there's anything else you want me to go over, just let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.